Frankie Pulicelli, certainly under height against Colin Castleton, and it shows on the tip. It's won by Florida. Safely into the hands of Tyree Appleby, the senior from Jacksonville, Arkansas. Takes it front court right off the screen from DeRuggi. DeRuggi straight on, guarded by Jenkins. They feed Castleton. Back to the bucket. He goes up, in and out. Foul on the play. Looked like Tyke Green got his hand to the cookie jar. As noted, Frankie Pulicelli stands at only 6'7". Castleton 6'11". He'll go to the free throw line. Tough matchup all evening long for Pulicelli.
And you knew that Mike White was going to exploit that early and often. Florida runs a set, gets it right inside to Castleton, and Frankie Pulicelli's really a stretch 4 or even a 3 man. You know, to guard Castleton all night is going to be tough. Look for Stony Brook to try and go to Jaden Sales, early to try and get a little body on Castleton.
First one down for Castleton. Off his 5th double-double of the season, 12 points, 11 boards, and the 11-point win against UCF. Second-year Gator by way of the University of Michigan, where, believe it or not, his action was fairly limited.
Yeah, did not get a lot of time at Michigan, and certainly, and this is why you transfer to get into a better situation, and he has flourished as a Gator.
Full court pressure deployed by the Gators. Roberts in the backcourt with Jenkins and Green. Jenkins sprints across the midcourt stripe. Stony Brook safely across in 7 seconds. Seawolves in the midst of a 4-game winning streak, 6 out of 7. Playing their best basketball. 15 on the timer. Tyke Green front court, left hands off into the corner. Roberts. He's double teamed. He comes back to Green. He's open for 3. Left wing off the rim. Castleton can't pull in the board.
Great job by Pulicelli.
Tyke Green, second effort, no. Has a chance on the third effort. He's rejected by DeRuggi.
DeRuggi's a sensational athlete. Plays above the rim on almost every possession.
Florida quickly in transition, but Stony Brook back. And into the half-court offense. Fleming dumps down low for Castleton. Tried to go across the middle, paint to paint. Picked off by Jenkins and out of bounds. Florida retains with 17 on the timer underneath the right tip.
Yeah, good rotation defensively by the Seawolves. Jenkins comes up with it knocked away and almost get an easy bucket for the Gators as they inbounded an easy bucket inside to DeRuggi.
4-0 Gators, 1+ minute in. Gators keeping that full court pressure on. Roberts is through. He's going to go 94 feet. Met by Castleton. The layup won't fall. Great move by Anthony Roberts. Just wouldn't go down. Now the Gators a chance to open up a 6-0 lead. McKissick bounces for Castleton. One-on-one against Pulicelli. He makes it look easy. 6-0 UF.
And Castleton doing it on both ends. He didn't block a shot on that end, but certainly protected the rim against Roberts. And an easy bucket for him on the other end.
Well, we knew Castleton was going to be an issue for Stony Brook today, and he's already got 4. Jenkins brings it across the midcourt stripe, front court right. Picked up by Fleming. Frankie Pulicelli bridges the gap to the left wing. It's Tyke Green. Steps inside the 3-point arc, back to Pulicelli. Thought about the 3, closed out by Appleby. His 2-point effort was altered by Appleby.
Pulicelli looking for the foul. He thought he got hit on the arm by DeRuggi. No call.
These Gators are active. Fleming tries the left wing. Jenkins got a hand in there, poked it free. The steal for Tyler Stevenson-Moore.
And this is a game Jenkins has to get it done on both ends as he turns it over here.
Back the other way comes Appleby. 2-on-1, feeds Fleming. It's 6-0. Or rather 8-0.
And Jenkins turned it over, but he has the athleticism and the quickness to score against this Gator lineup, as does Roberts. Gino Ford is going to look for a timeout, I believe, right now.
Looks like just a substitution timeout for Stony Brook.
Number 23.
2.5 minutes in already, 8-0 UF against SBU. And obviously small sample size here, Pat, but they just look stronger, faster, and more athletic.
Well, it's a Power 5 school with Power 5 athletes and athleticism, and Jaden Sales in the game right now for Stony Brook. See if he can slow Castleton down a little bit.
Sales returned to the Stony Brook lineup on Saturday against St. Peter's after missing the prior 2. Passing intended for Sales is intercepted yet again by Appleby. Weaving his way across, he finds Felder, who's into the lane for 2 using class. It's 10-0 UF over Stony Brook.
And Stony Brook very careless with the basketball so far. They have to take care of the basketball if they're even going to stay in this game.
Stony Brook, top 30 in the country in turnovers per game at under 11. And they've already coughed it up 4 times. 3 minutes in, 10-0 UF here at home. Tyke Green in the corner. He'll release for 3. It's down.
Huge bucket for the Seawolves. Get on board. Tyke Green has been playing some sensational basketball. He has been such a key cog in this late winning streak by the Seawolves.
Stony Brook's leading boarder and 3rd leading scorer. Now a 10-3 contest, 16:30 to go first half. Castleton working at the right block. He'll rise, fire, no go. Tyler Stevenson-Moore gets up to bring in the rebound. Probably won't be the last time we say that. TSM earning his 5th start of the season. Jenkins again, careless. He's on the ground in a battle with Appleby. Jump ball, it will stay with Stony Brook. It's been chaotic offensive possession so far for Gino Ford's group. They could use that media timeout, which comes up in about 22 seconds of game time.
So much ball pressure by the Gators, especially against a player like Jaleel Jenkins, who's accustomed to just blowing by defenders with his quickness. You're not going to get by Appleby.
Substitutions for Mike White's group. Jason Jitobo checks in, the 6'11", 305-pound junior from Nigeria. He will also be an issue down low.
He's earning more and more minutes, playing better as later on in the season.
Sales from the free throw line, jumpers down. Give the dime to Juan Felix Rodriguez, fresh onto the hardwood. 10-5, 5 in a row for Stony Brook.
Yeah, good answer by the Seawolves after getting knocked around a little bit. Took a few punches early on in this game, but they've been able to answer the last few possessions.
CJ Felder controls the forward, tosses to Jitobo, double teamed at the block, no go, second chance, won't fall. Pokes back out to the point. 3-point attempt, Appleby. High off the iron, maybe a 4th opportunity for UF. It will be off the rebound from Felder.
And we mentioned Stony Brook has to box out. They have to gang rebound. The guards have to get those long rebounds.
12 on the timer. UF 0 of 3 on this possession. It comes for a corner pop from the near side. It's down. The freshman, Kawasi Reeves, delivers from the near. 13-5.
And Reeves can shoot the rock, the freshman.
6'6" from Macon, Georgia, making his 7th appearance of the season.
5-star recruit, one of the top 5 candidates for Georgia Player of the Year.
Roberts called for the offensive foul, made it with contact. It's a charge, and that'll bring us to our first media timeout. 15:21 remaining first half. UF 13, Stony Brook 5. Just getting started here on 90.1 FM WUSB Stony Brook. Back here at Exactech Arena at Stephen C. O'Connell Center in Gainesville, Florida. Florida Gators and Stony Brook Seawolves meeting for the first time in program history. Gators 13, Seawolves 5. He's Rob Pavinelli. I'm Jonny Wincott. Out of our first media timeout. 15:21 to go here in the first half. Non-stop action. I'm not sure that's the way Stony Brook wants it.
I don't know if Stony Brook can hang with Florida if they're going to go up and down. They have to do a better job taking care of the basketball and defending the paint. The Gators have 8 points inside already early on.
3 turnovers already for Stony Brook, and they came on their first 4 possessions. Gators attacking from left to right. Inside feed CJ Felder, backing down on Hobway. Draws the double with Sales. Able to slip it to Jitobo. Great feed, and the big fella finishes. Back to a 10-point advantage for the Florida Gators at 15-5.
And Stony Brook is going to have to double down earlier, make Florida beat them from the perimeter. Florida has not shot the ball well of late.
J-Rod over midcourt for Stony Brook into the corner. Omar Hobway can't hit the 3. High into the air. Tyler Stevenson-Moore couldn't bring it in. He was beat out by Felder.
Stony Brook can't settle on those quick 3s. They're going to be one and done.
McKissick straight on. All players on the hardwood right now for the Gators are transfers, except for the man possessing Kawasi Reeves. He's a freshman. At the right elbow, fading, tough take, won't go. Rebound scooped up by Jitobo. Tough to box out, 305 pounds. Jitobo, second take over Sales, that won't go. Jaden Sales able to hold his ground on a couple of good looks for the Gators.
And Sales is going to be huge today for the Seawolves if they're going to hang in this basketball game. And another careless turnover. Good foul, though, by Roberts as the Gators had numbers.
Yeah, Omar Hobway looked to have slipped, angling down the left sideline. And like you mentioned, good foul by Roberts in transition, or else an automatic 2 for Florida. So instead, the Gators will take it out from the near side at midcourt. And more wholesale changes for Stony Brook. As Alex Christie, the 7-footer, checks in. Stony Brook needs size.
And Gino Ford is going to rotate Sales and Christie down low to guard Castleton. Jaleel Jenkins back in the lineup. He needs to get going for the Seawolves if they're going to get back in this game.
Appleby floats inside for Castleton. He's fouled on the way up. 2 more free throws upcoming for the big fella, the 6'11 senior from DeLand. He is Florida's leading point scorer, Florida's leading rebounder, and Florida's leading rejecter. We noted he comes by way of Michigan. We mentioned before, hard to believe he wasn't getting big-time minutes in Michigan.
With his size and his touch and his timing, he's an NBA prospect. And again, Juwan Howard's got a hell of a basketball team. Up in Michigan, the Wolverines are always tough. But tough to imagine a player of Castleton's caliber not to get minutes for the Wolverines.
Versatile big man who was recruited by Florida out of high school. We mentioned from DeLand, where Stetson is. Castleton buried the first. Second free throw in and out. 16-5, Gators over Seawolves under the 14-minute mark here in the first half. Jenkins, pressured by a triple team, nearly fell to the seat of his pants. Stony Brook has to get it over half, and they do in the form of Jenkins. He's doubled at the right wing. Off to Juan Felix Rodriguez, straight on. J-Rod to the bucket, met by a double team. Now with 10 on the timer, comes back out to Jenkins. He turns on the motor. Floater from the free throw line is pure. Jaleel Jenkins has found the score sheet, make it 16-7.
We had a patented floater by Jenkins. He has to step it up offensively right now.
Jenkins had 13 of his 15 in the second half on Saturday against St. Peter's. Appleby shoots an air ball. Stony Brook looking to recover the loose basketball, and they'll get it out of bounds on the near side.
Great hands by Juan Felix Rodriguez. Reached in and knocked it off Castleton's leg. And the relentless Gator pressure continues. Full court, trapping, rotating.
Jaleel Jenkins controls front court right, defended by the much bigger Derucci. Alex Christie will lay the screen for Jenkins left. Off to Hobway, revolves into the corner for Green. Now 10 on the timer for Ty Key. He's picked up by Appleby. 8 on the shot clock. Christie has it outside. That's not where Stony Brook wants him to have it. It's still Christie. Left elbow. Alex Christie stripped. There was 1 on the timer. Here comes Appleby. 3 on 2. Ahead for Derucci. And Tyke Green in transition. Got a foot in there. Out of bounds underneath the right tin. Florida retains. 12:42 to go.
Great hustle by Tyke Green, taking an easy opportunity away from the Gators. And not a defensive end. The Gators, with the exception of Castleton, 4 players on the floor that can guard all 5 positions. Castleton even could probably go out and guard a point guard. So much length, so much size, so much athleticism.
Flanders Fleming Jr., the trigger from underneath the right tin. Lob feed, Castleton, the throwdown. Inbound alley-oop. And the Gators vault in front 18-7, 12:30 to go in this first half.
And that's the second time the Gators have used that inbound play to lob right in front of the rim for the easy flush.
Roberts and Green play pass, front court left. Roberts puts the moves on. He slips past Appleby. Jump feed to the corner, J-Rod. Puts a man on the deck. Three-pointer down. It was Appleby who slipped on a wet spot, ended up on his backside right in front of his bench. And Juan Felix Rodriguez delivers the 3 to make it an 18-10 game. They stop the clock, 12-14, get the mop out.
And several Seawolf players have been slipping down on their offensive end. Let's see, maybe there's some moisture. It's kind of humid here today. Change of weather. It was cold for a couple of days. Now it's warming up a little bit. So it may be an issue with the floor. But big shot by Juan Felix Rodriguez, the Seawolves' leading returning scorer for last year, kind of has accepted his role as kind of a third or fourth option. He's got to knock down those 3. Big bucket.
Reach and foul on Juan Felix Rodriguez, his first. Florida resets, 12 minutes remaining here in the first half, 18-10. High feed Castleton, bridges the gap to the far corner. Fleming Jr. rises, fires, and hits. It's a 3.
Absolute perfect rotation, elevation. Big bucket for the Gators as they answer and extend it to 11.
Flanders Fleming Jr., the transfer by way of Charleston Southern. 4 years, over 1,500 points. 15 on the timer. Jenkins, hampered by a double team, finds Tyke Green in the corner. Now it's Pulicelli, front court left.
Yeah, Fleming Jr., the 2-time Big South Player of the Year.
Pulicelli goes all the way across, and it lands up in the first row. Frankie Pulicelli looking to go corner to corner, and it brings us to another immediate timeout on another Stony Brook turnover. 11:29 to go first half. Florida 21, Stony Brook 10 right here on 90.1 FM WUSB. Near the Sunshine State, Florida 21, Stony Brook 10. He's Rob Pavinelli, I'm Jonny Wincott. Gators and Seawolves meeting for the first time. The Gators are 9-0 against the America East, and it includes 2-0 with wins over Vermont and New Hampshire in Mike White's tenure. Gators attacking from left to right, 18 on the timer. Castleton hands off, straight on. This is Anthony Derucci. Thought about the triple, closed out by Tyke Green. Now it's Fleming Jr. Hampered by Roberts, the handoff front court right to Kennedy, rises, fires, the lefty, can't hit. It's swirled in and out, but the rebound and putback is there by Fleming Jr.
And Roberts initially boxed Fleming Jr. out. He was able to slip free and get an easy bucket.
A frenetic pace so far in the first 9 minutes as Tyke Green has it poked out of his grasp in the far corner. No harm done for Stony Brook, still 20 on the shot clock.
And Florida so active defensively. They've caused 6 Seawolves turnovers, and that has led to 9 points for the Gators.
7 points already for Fleming after a team-high 12 in the win against USF. Jaleel Jenkins, wing left, gets by his man, up and under, but missed the layup. He did the hard part, beating McKissick, but could not finish on the right end.
Beautiful move by Jenkins with the scoop reverse, just doesn't get it to go.
Eli Kennedy, the freshman from 3, high off the iron. Castleton the board, but he's stripped. Picked up by Juan Felix Rodriguez. Stony Brook 3-on-2. J-Rod, stop and go down the right wing, count the layup. Nice move by Juan Felix Rodriguez, closes the gap back to 11. 23-12, Florida over Stony Brook.
And Stony Brook has a veteran backcourt on the floor with Juan Felix Rodriguez and Jenkins. They have to handle the pressure, get to the basket, make some easy buckets.
Stony Brook 5 of their last 7 from the field. McKissick stuck in the paint from Green's defense. He'll find Fleming straight on, guarded by Roberts. The shot clock at 8. Fleming turns on the Jets, drives into the lane, misses the left-handed layup, battle for the board, and it's won by guess who? Tykeet Green. Under 10 minutes to go here in the first half. Anthony Roberts looks to go 94 feet, feels some contact. The shot won't go down, but the first 2 free throws upcoming for Stony Brook.
And after some initial minutes by the Seawolves where they really looked off on the offensive end, turning the basketball over, taking some quick shots, they're starting to settle in, get some good looks. They're attacking the basket a little bit more, not just shooting the 3, not just relying on the 3. Some big free throws right now for Roberts.
First one down. You could probably hear it. UF kind enough to give us their effects feed today for our radio broadcast, so you should be able to hear those swishes. Or on the other end of that spectrum, some clanks. Anthony Roberts, the second leading free throw shooter in the America East, over 84%. An opportunity to make it a single-digit game with 9:47 to go here in the first half.
And Roberts gets to the line often as he misses in the second, but he's got that ability to create contact, absorb the contact, finish.
Score stays 23-13 in favor of Florida. Gators still attacking left to right here in the first half. From the far wing into the paint, it's McKissick. Now he kicks out. Corner 3 off the front rim by Felder. And the rebound scooped up by Roberts for Stony Brook.
And that's what Stony Brook wants Florida to do. They want to shoot that 3. Don't allow the ball inside.
Ping pong basketball in the paint, and it's another takeaway for the Gators. McKissick on the left wing. Able to feed inside. Now it's Felder over Castleton. It's down. Tykeet Green wants basket interference. He's not going to get it. 9 minutes to play in the first half. Florida 25, Stony Brook 13. Seawolves have a 4-game winning streak on the line here in Gainesville. Winners in 6 out of the last 7. Tykeet Green, quick trigger triple from the corner. It's off the iron, and the rebound into the hands of the 6'11 senior Colin Castleton.
And again, the Seawolves 1 and done. That's a good shot by Tykeet Green. Hit one earlier. You have to take good shots, 3-point shots when you're in your rhythm.
High-low feed Castleton, one-on-one against Policelli. Jenkins tries to help, but it proves fruitless.
And Jenkins has to double down sooner. There's no way Policelli can handle Castleton down low. Again, Stony Brook has to make Florida beat them from the perimeter.
Frankie Policelli, 6'7", maybe the tallest option at most points for Stony Brook, but we know he's not much of a post player.
And on the offensive end, he's got to draw Castleton away from the basket and knock down that 3.
Tykeet Green with it, 10 on the shot clock, beats Jenkins, turns on the motor, floater, got it. Jenkins meanders his way through the defense in order to find some space to get that shot off.
And what Jenkins does so well, once he beats the defender, he gets in front of him, kind of leans his body in to protect against the shot block, and has that terrific touch with the floater.
Floater on the right end, there's a counter. It comes from Tyree Appleby, and the lead right back to 14 for the Gators.
Yeah, Appleby with a floater of his own.
Florida 29, Stony Brook 15. 7:40 to go here in the first half. Next whistle, media timeout. Roberts controlling at the point. Blows by Reeves. Right-handed layup down the left lane is good, and he wants a foul. Won't get it. 29-17. The deficit now at 12.
And some nice adjustments by Gino Ford. He's telling his Seawolves, take it to the basket. Make Florida rotate. If they don't, just take it right to the rack and try and finish.
7 different Gators have already scored. Whistle off ball. This will be a foul on Stony Brook. And we'll stop the clock. 7:17 to go, first half. Third at Zack Arena, Stephen C. O'Connell Center, more affectionately known as the O-Dome around here. Pav, you already knew that.
Yes, I have.
Robert Pavinelli, Jonny Wincott. 29-17 your score. Florida over Stony Brook. no real chance to catch your breath unless we get to the media timeout today.
And Stony Brook needs to catch their breath a little bit. They've struggled taking care of the basketball. 7 turnovers, which has led to 13 points off turnovers for the Gators.
Gators with 20 on the timer. They inbound from underneath the right tin, attacking that tin. McKissick off the dribble, picks it up, kick out, three-pointer on the way from Felder. Good.
Good kick out by McKissick, finds a wide open Felder.
C.J. Felder by way of Boston College, the first-year Gator, who has appeared in all 12 games this season, doing so off the bench in all 12. 6:50 to play. Baseline floater from Rodriguez is left short. He punches it to the midcourt stripe where Jenkins recovers. In the backcourt, Jenkins will step into the open three. Can't hit off the left side of the rim, and it's brought in by Florida in the form of the freshman Reeves.
And Stony Brook only has 1 offensive rebound in the game, and it came early by Tyler Stevenson Moore.
Well, we knew size would be an issue. Speaking of which, Jitobo in the interior, kicks out, revolves around the arc. Reeves, high arcing three, high off the iron. Jitobo got the board.
Good hustle by the big fella.
And they are letting him hear it. Jitobo, 305 pounds, the Nigerian junior. Appleby feeds Jitobo, oversells, he's earned it. The fruits of his labor.
Yeah, when you hustle after a loose ball going almost out of bounds, you want that basketball back. Good job by the Gators finding the big fella inside.
And Florida has doubled up Stony Brook. 34-17, still with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Rodriguez between the rings, bumped by Appleby. They'll get him for a foul. That's another thing we haven't had too many of on the Florida side of this opening half is fouls, just the second one.
And when you pressure and you are so active as the Gators are and the referees kind of let you play a little bit, it's going to spell bad news for most opponents.
Gators shooting 56% from the field right now, 14 of 25. Stony Brook at 44%, just not getting nearly as many shots off.
Yeah, they're not getting shots off because they're turning the basketball over prior to getting a shot off. If they can take care of the basketball, there's another turnover here by Roberts.
Transition foul by Roberts against Fleming Jr., who emerged with the loose rock. 5:42 remaining. That's the 7th foul on Stony Brook already. One upcoming.
And that's a second on Roberts, and he will take a seat on the bench as Tyke Green will check in for him.
Facial expressions and body language says a lot. We have a good look at Gino Ford right now. Not good for Stony Brook.
It's frustrating, especially going into this game that the Gators are going to come out. They're going to pressure all over the floor, full court. Early on, Stony Brook, really struggled with it. They had a nice stretch, got back in the game a little bit, and again, the turnovers are coming quickly and often for the Seawolves.
Flandris Fleming Jr. hits the first free throw. We'll toss him on our first team all-name. Second one down as well.
Yeah, he may be the captain on that all-name team.
The Athens, Georgia native, one of 2 in Charleston Southern history. 1,000 points, 500 boards, 200 dimes, 100 steals, 50 blocks. And now he gets to do it in his final collegiate season for Florida. 5.5 remaining here in the first half. Gators lead 36-17. Jenkins with 14 on the timer, puts the moves on, but McKissick sticking with him. Sales gets the interior feed from Stevenson Moore, working on the left block. Jitobo sticking with him. Sales still goes up and puts it down. Jaden Sales manages to find 2 off glass.
Great patience by Sales. Good footwork in the kiss off glass.
And that body language we were talking about turns into a bevy of claps from the head coach, Gino Ford. Final 5 here in the first half. Reeves bounces for Felder. He's got the height advantage. Left block against Tyler Stevenson Moore. Green there to help, kick out Reeves. Rises, fires, no go from 3. Poked back to the point, loose basketball. Gators have it. Leads to a wide open triple. Brandon McKissick can't hit. Rebound for Tyler Stevenson Moore. Stony Brook wants the run. And now Tyke Green, front court left, will slow the pace. 36-19, UF over SBU. Tyler Stevenson Moore in the corner, hampered by Jitobo. Bounce feed for Jaden Sales. And it looks like a foul coming up on Florida. Fortuitous one for Stony Brook as they nearly turned it over again.
And the pressure is just relentless, Johnny. Every time you bounce the basketball, every time you pick up a dribble, Florida is all over you. You set a high ball screen, they're going to really jump that high ball screen and double, and they're so active, they rotate so extremely well.
Well, Stony Brook wiping their brow as Jason Jitobo goes to the bench, but back into the game is Colin Castleton. Jenkins was the trigger. Received the pass back in between the circles. Salvages what was a tough pass. 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Tyler Stevenson more in the near corner. Off for Tyke Green. 5 seconds to go. Green carves into the lane, baseline. Now at 2, he gave it away. Wanted Jenkins, it went right into the hands of Fleming Jr. And a foul in transition, purposeful by Jaleel Jenkins. More free throws coming up, 1-1 for the Gators.
And that's how you teach defense. Florida, relentless all over the basketball, rotating, anticipating, jump the pass, and Fleming Jr. will head to the free throw line.
I'm not sure Stony Brook or Tyke Green knew the shot clock was dwindling. Didn't seem like anyone looked up to locate.
And in preparation, when you play a team, and we know that the Stony Brook had played Kansas earlier in the season, and now they play another Power 5 team in Florida. It's so hard to prepare to simulate this type of pressure in practice because you just don't have the size and the athletes to do so.
Fleming makes it a pair, and he is already into double figures. We noted UF's leading scorer with 12 points against USF, and that's kind of been the key for Florida this season. They've got a multitude of scorers who could do damage in the points department.
They've had 6 different guys lead them in scoring this season. A lot of balance. We mentioned they struggled a little bit shooting the basketball the last few games.
Jenkins off to Sales, two-handed jam. It's Jaden.
Sales hung on that a little bit too long. Lucky he didn't get a technical foul, but big bucket by Sales.
Right back the other way come the Gators. Far corner, Reeves carves inside, spinning, shooting, he hits. Beautiful move by the freshman, who carved from the far corner into the left block and went over Tyler Stevenson Moore to make it a 19-point advantage, 40-21.
And the freshman has been impressive for the Gators so far. Soft touch off glass on that spin move.
You mentioned 6 different leading scorers this season for the Gators. 4 times their leading scorer has come off the bench. 13 on the timer. J-Rod threads the needle to Jaden Sales, and it's 2 more for number 23 in red and white.
And Sales has missed a bunch of games and practices as of late, sick with the flu. He is certainly an important cog inside for the Seawolves if they're going to do damage in America East play.
Sales 8 points, 4 of 4 for the field. Reeves, great feed inside for Castleton, and the big fella makes good on it. Stony Brook threaded the needle on the left end with Juan Felix Rodriguez, and Reeves, the freshman, responds quickly on the right end.
And that's a really nice set by Mike White's club. The baseline screen, freeing up Castleton, and a nice hook pass inside, and an easy deuce.
By the way, Jaden Sales only had 6 points on Saturday. He has 8 already today. We noted 4 of 4 from the field. Jaleel Jenkins tripped up in the far corner. It's a foul on Florida. Only their third of the half. And with 2:27 remaining in this first half, we'll step aside one more time. Florida 42, Stony Brook 23, doing their best to enjoy their time here in the Sunshine State. 2:27 remaining in the first half. Florida 42, Stony Brook 23. He's Rob Pavinelli. I'm Jonny Wincott. Foul just before the break was on Florida. Stony Brook will take underneath the left tin, the one they attack. Pat, what needs to change for SBU?
Well, obviously they have to take care of the basketball. They've turned the ball over way too many times. They've got 9 turnovers already that have led to 17 Gator points. They've only hit 2 threes, but it's just so tough to run your offense. And Florida's defending without fouling. Only 3 personals on the Gators so far.
Yeah, Stony Brook getting a taste of their own medicine. Jenkins faked the shot, now takes the shot and makes the shot. Jaleel Jenkins, the human joystick, with 2 more.
Yeah, tough shot over the outstretched hands of DeRugi.
Final 2 minutes of the opening half here at the O-Dome with a pretty healthy crowd for a holiday season game. Front court left, Fleming able to make the catch with Jaleel Jenkins hampering. Shot clock at 12. Fleming off the screen from DeRugi, now picked up by Green. It comes back to DeRugi, thought about the 3 twice, now off to Fleming. He'll take the 3 and make the 3. Fleming is on fire.
And as I mentioned earlier, just picture perfect form, elevation, rotation. You can see why he scored so many points prior to coming and becoming a Gator.
We have not seen Myron Jones today. He started each of the first 11 games for the Gators. The transfer from Penn State, who we noted was about a 40% three-point shooter with the Nittany Lions, and has not done that with Florida. 5 on the timer. Stony Brook a little bit chaotic here. Green will go all the way to the bucket, rejected twice, but a foul called and Tyke is down. Hands over his face. Foul came with 2 seconds remaining on the timer, and Tyke still down underneath the left tin, with no Stony Brook training staff out there just yet.
He got hit pretty hard when Castleton rotated, DeRugi rotated over, and I think he caught an elbow across the top of his face on his nose, and he gets up. And nice job by the Gators, the Gator crowd giving him a hand as he heads to the free throw line.
Everybody hitting shots here in this first half. Stony Brook 4 of their last 4. Florida 3 of their last 3. Tyke Green to the free throw line. Only the 4th foul on the Gators. 2 upcoming for Green. First one short.
Yeah, when you don't get a lot of opportunities to get buckets, you have to capitalize from the free throw line. Green misses the first.
Well, Florida has done that. 7 of 8 for the charity stripe. Second free throw strong by Green, and now Stony Brook 1 of 4 from the free throw line. Gators quick in transition. Fleming jump pass to Rucci, was on his way for a slam. Tyler Stevenson-Moore got his hand in the way. He'll make him earn 2 for the free throw line. Now 63 seconds remaining in this first half, and it's been all Gators 45-25.
Yeah, beautiful look there by Fleming Jr. Attacks the basket. Looks like he's going to take it up. The no-look little shovel pass inside to DeRuggi.
23rd free throw attempt of the season for DeRuggi is down, 18 of 23. He was 1 rebound away from a double-double in the 66-55 win against UCF, a game where Florida, like Stony Brook, did not play at their best, but managed to win the game by double digits. In and out for DeRuggi, make it 1 out of 2. And with 1 minute remaining here in the first half, 46-25 your score. Stony Brook tries to take a bite out of the 21-point deficit. Juan Felix Rodriguez all on his lonesome, blows by the freshman Reeves. J-Rod has looked good in the first 19 plus.
No doubt about it, Johnny, and it's important for Stony Brook to get a stop right here, get another offensive possession, get a little momentum heading into the second half. 7
points on 3 of 4 shooting for Juan Felix Rodriguez. McKissick kicks out to the corner, another open 3. Fleming can't bury this time. McKissick the board and the putback. A man on a mission, doing so over Juan Felix Rodriguez, who only stands at about 6 feet tall.
And second chance opportunities really hurting the Seawolves. That's the 10th offensive rebound for the Gators.
Gators out rebounding the Seawolves 18-9. They out rebounded USF 45-27. Final 10 seconds, timer's off. Stony Brook can hold for the final shot. It's Juan Felix Rodriguez between the rings. Defended by Fleming Jr. Step back 3, no go off the left rim. Castleton's got it. 2 seconds and 1, and that'll do it. 20 minutes in the books here at Exactech Arena. Florida 48, Stony Brook 27.
And all the things we talked about early on. Stony Brook has to take care of the basketball. They have not done so. They have to knock down some threes. Only 2 for 7 for Stony Brook. On the other side, Florida has dominated the paint on both ends of the floor, getting almost any shot that they want on offensive possession, and they have been smothering on the defensive end.
Well, I think we'll put it succinctly. Stony Brook averages over 72 points per game, 27 in the first 20 minutes.
No, you don't play the Gators every night. You know, it's not easy. You mentioned that this is a team that is not currently ranked in the top 25. This is a team that will be ranked in the top 25, and certainly a team that's going to continue to do some damage in the NCAA tournament, as they have done for the last few years.
5 of the 9 Seawolves who played in the first half scored. They were led by Jaden Sells, 4 of 4 from the field, doing so off the bench for the grand total of 8 points. Meanwhile, Florida, almost everybody who played scored. They're led by Fleming Jr. He had 14. Castleton not far behind with 11, and he's 5 rebounds away from his 6th double-double of the season.
Hey, and Mike White established Castleton early on, got him the basketball down low, and then Stony Brook could not defend them down there. They started doubling a little bit, and then the kickouts were going to Fleming Jr. So this is a Florida team that we mentioned has struggled a little bit offensively. No struggles tonight for them. They put up 48 points in the first half.
Florida shot 56% for the field. Stony Brook shot 55% for the field, but the Gators took 10 more shots than the Seawolves did. That's a problem.
No doubt about it. And those shots came off of turnovers, and they also came off of second chance opportunities with offensive rebounds.
So 20 minutes down here in Gainsville, 20 to go. We'll step aside. Stony Brook and Florida meeting for the first time in their program history. Basketball to begin the second half. In their home whites, orange trim, attacking from right to left. Seawolves in their road reds, white trim. Stony Brook spelt across the chest in white. Right to the bucket, left-handed layup, and it's easy for Tyree Appleby. The Gators pick up where they left off, 50-27. And more full court pressure.
And the pressure continues, just like the first half.
Jenkins in the backcourt, met by a double team. Needing some help, Stony Brook just gets it over the midcourt stripe in the nick of time. They use 9+ seconds.
And Jenkins is just accustomed to blowing by defenders against the pressure. You're not going to be able to do that against Florida.
Only 10 on the timer now for Stony Brook. They have not really got the offense running on this possession. Roberts down low, Green. Backs himself into a corner, now 2 on the timer. Green has to fire away. This will be a shot clock violation. It was an air ball scooped up by the Gators. We play on. Fleming in transition, stops at the left elbow, then resets between the rings with Appleby. 1 minute into the second half, Gators 50, Seawolves 27. Gators looking to move to 3-0 against America East competition under Mike White. Foul on Stony Brook with McKissick en route to the bucket. Seawolves not happy with the call.
That was a late whistle, and Stony Brook looked like they had created a turnover, and that foul is going to be on Tyler Stevenson Moore. Unfortunate for the Seawolves that they had possession.
Policelli, Roberts, Stevenson, Moore, Green, and Jenkins, the 5 for Gino Ford. They go right back to Castleton, and he is hacked by everybody. Only way to make sure it's not an automatic 2 for the 6'11 senior. Second foul already on Stony Brook. Looks like that one, let's see, is it on the ground or not?
And it's just a simple duck in off the out-of-bounds play. Florida enters the ball, Castleton dunks in, and Frankie Policelli cannot guard him, and Castleton will head to the free throw line. The officials said that was in the act of shooting. Certainly looked on the ground to us.
At the line for Florida, Colin Castleton will shoot 2.
11 points, 5 rebounds already for Colin Castleton. You might want to remember that name as he buries the first free throw. We noted first 2 years in Michigan. Made a big impact for the Gators last year in his first season in Florida. Now their leading scorer, their leading boarder. And if he gets over 11 rebounds today, he'll be averaging a double-double for the season.
And Castleton has emerged as an NBA prospect, has to do a better job of shooting the basketball from beyond the arc. That's the only real weakness in his game, and you know how the NBA game is now. You're 6'11", 7 feet, you have to knock down that 3.
Stony Brook turnover in the backcourt. And this will stay with the Gators after it banks off Jenkins and goes out of bounds. That full court pressure with only Jenkins and Roberts to try and navigate through could not alleviate the pressure.
Stony Brook's they have to have somebody flashing to help the guards out.
And there's turnover number 10 on Stony Brook. They average 10 per game. Inbound to Castleton. He was being yanked by Policelli, but the loose ball's picked up by Jenkins. Stony Brook in transition and an official's whistle. I don't think the shot clock properly reset.
Yeah, there's only 15 seconds left on the shot clock for Stony Brook. They'll have to reset that. And they make it 24 seconds left for the Seawolves.
Roberts to trigger just in front of the Stony Brook bench. He does so to the point guard, Jaleel Jenkins. 6 of the 27 from Jenkins, the Fairleigh Dickinson transfer. This is Roberts, quick trigger triple, high off the front rim. Rebound scooped up by Policelli. Battling into a double, over Castleton, and he finishes. Big boy basketball from Frankie P.
Great job by Policelli over both DeRuggi and Castleton, and that's really not the strength of his game.
Stony Brook would like to see some more big boy ball from Policelli. And a turnover coming up on the Gators as McKissick caught in the near corner with his foot out of bounds. Only the 4th turnover on Florida. Stony Brook has committed 10. So again, Stony Brook, another try here to get over the midcourt and strike successfully. Now 3 in the backcourt with Tyke Green joining the cause. And Jenkins is over and does so with a reach-in foul.
And that's going to be a foul on Flanders Fleming Jr. And already Florida picked up his second foul early on here in the second half. First half, they played tremendous defense without fouling.
Bob, I know you got a bunch of children. Did you ever think about Flanders? Roberts through a double team, a lot of contact. Ball goes out of bounds. No foul on the play, but Stony Brook will retain underneath the right 10. 18:01 to go second half. 18 seconds on the shot clock and more moisture on the hardwood. Game day crew getting their money's worth.
That certainly looked like Roberts got hit on that attack of the bucket. He's got 3 personal. He says, when am I going to get a foul call for me?
12 on the shot clock. Jenkins stop and go, guarded by the bigger Castleton. They'll have to give it up into the corner. Roberts, tough looking 3. It's short.
Great recognition defensively by McKissick. Rotated out.
DeRuggi goes right around Policelli. Policelli in a prime opportunity to plant his feet, maybe take a foul. At happy feet.
Now that was a beautiful Euro step as the Florida bench all get up in unison and simulate the Euro step.
Stony Brook again having trouble getting it over midcourt. Jump ball will be called right at the midcourt stripe. And now they will change the call to a 10-second violation. that makes sense with the shot clock showing 19. So it's another turnover on Stony Brook, and even in games where Stony Brook has maybe committed more turnovers than they would have liked, hasn't really come in the backcourt.
Yeah, there's been a lot of turnovers, all kinds of different turnovers by Stony Brook, and Gino Ford and his staff knew going into this game that they have to take care of the basketball if they're going to stay in this basketball game, and it has not happened so far.
Policelli gets his hand in the passing lane. There's a turnover on the Gators. Roberts taking it the other way, 94 feet. Bull in a China shop. He's stripped. Out of bounds, 20 on the timer. Stony Brook retains. Seems like a lot of individual efforts for Stony Brook, getting guys who are running themselves into corners.
Yeah, it's just so hard to move the basketball. And this is a Stony Brook team that does share the basketball extremely well. They find open teammates. There's just not many to find, but Juan Felix Rodriguez has found the hoop multiple times tonight. A beautiful swoop to the hoop.
Gators 54, Seawolves 31. 3+ minutes into the second half here at the O-Dome. Castleton holding. Straight on. Handoff and an off-ball foul. It's on Florida. Right as Castleton handed off to Appleby. Call came from the far side from Anthony Jordan, one of our 3-person officiating crew. And Stony Brook takes it back, still trailing by 23. Inbound to Policelli at the midcourt stripe. And Stony Brook this time with a little bit of an advantage. They're across midcourt. Rodriguez, corner three, count it. Juan Felix Rodriguez heating up for Stony Brook. And the deficit now at 20, 54-34.
And Stony Brook did a really nice job against the pressure, getting the ball in the middle of the floor, reversed it to a wide open Felix Rodriguez for an easy three, and Castleton answers on the other end.
Quick response as Tyke Green tried to draw the charge. He drew some contact and wound up on his backside, but Castleton delivers from 5 feet out. 56-34, Gators over Seawolves. Tyke Green with contact, he's able to finish. He wanted to throw down with 2 hands. McKissick got in the way, but it makes no difference for the Green Monster. He'll have a chance at 3.
And Green listed at 6'4", probably no bigger than 6'2". He does a tremendous job of finishing in traffic. So strong, so athletic. That time, due to contact, knocked down the bucket and head to the free throw line with a chance to complete the old-fashioned 3-point play.
First made basket for Green since that early triple. All those triples memorable now for Stony Brook. They've only hit 3. And Green has missed all 3 of his free throws today. Still a 20-point deficit, 56-36. Just over 16 minutes remaining in the second half. Appleby probing, lost it, picked up by Policelli. Another turnover forced by Stony Brook. Here comes Jenkins going the length of the court. The patented floater is down.
Nice end-to-end action there by Jenkins, and you knew that floater was coming right about half court, right in the middle of that big Gator head, and a timeout for the Gators.
Thanks, Matt. Exactech Arena, the site, Stephen O'Connell Center in Gainsville, Florida, where Florida and Stony Brook meeting for the first time in program history. Stony Brook trying to close the gap here in the second half, 56-38. They trail by 18. Robert Pavinelli, 5 turnovers in the second half already for UF.
Yeah, and Mike White did not like what he saw from his Gators here early on. Good job, good adjustments by Gino Ford and his crew. Still down 18, but they made a nice run here. They're looking a lot better on both ends of the floor.
Season high 12 points rather quietly today for Stony Brook's Juan Felix Rodriguez. That's 12 of the 38. A 32%. Fleming Jr. triple off the screen, and he is money.
And that's a tough shot. His earlier threes were jumpers with his feet set, that time off the bounce, off the screen, and a dagger bucket by Fleming Jr.
17 of the 59 for the Gators have come courtesy of Fleming Jr. Stony Brook again with some trouble, able to alleviate the pressure and get across midcourt. Policelli. I'm going to draw the foul on Castleton, who put 2 hands on number 2 in red. 15-18 remaining in the second half. And another immediate timeout forthcoming. We'll keep it right here with the Gators leading 59-38. Stony Brook, we noted their last non-conference game against a Division I opponent. A week from today, they'll be back home to take on Farmingdale State. For the Gators, especially given how December has gone, they went unblemished in November, 6-0. Only 2-3 here in December. This is a very important tune-up game. Right before they get to SEC action, they'll be at Ole Miss next Wednesday.
And Ole Miss, the alma mater of their head coach, Mike White, had a tremendous career there. 4-year starter, tremendous player, tremendous sports family are the Whites. His dad is the AD at Duke. His brother's the AD at Tennessee. His brother's the AD at Florida Atlantic. And his sister is the assistant AD at SMU. A little sports running in the White family.
Not a bad coach either, Mike White. The Gators have been over 500 in each of his first 6 seasons. You mentioned the 4-year starting point guard at Ole Miss, had a brief stint in the short-lived IBL, International Basketball League, for your favorite team, the New Mexico Slam. White, this is his second head coaching job, 4 years with Louisiana Tech. In his 10 years as a head coach, 8 postseason appearances, either NCAA or NIT.
Oh, he certainly, when he was at Louisiana Tech, one of the hottest coaches in the country, and we know the success that Florida had under Billy Donovan, won 2 national championships underneath the Billy the Kid, and when he moved on to the NBA, Mike White was at the top of the list, and he's done a tremendous job with the Gators so far.
There's some real storied history on the sideline for the Gators. In fact, it was Lon Kruger before it was Billy Donovan, but Donovan for 19 years the head coach, of course the Rockville Setter native, now the Chicago Bulls head coach, and maybe most importantly for those rowdy reptiles here in Florida, he brought them back-to-back national championships. They're only 2.
And not easy to do it, what you call a football school. This was a football only, and Billy brought an excitement here. Obviously brought a lot of talent, and he is the last coach, and they are the last program to go back-to-back national champions.
Well, that'll happen with Corey Brewer and Joakim Noah, Al Horford.
Some talent. Billy's done a nice job turning the Bulls around this year as well, after a nice run with the Thunder.
Stony Brook inbounds, 15 on the shot clock. Just over 15 minutes remaining in the second half. Juan Felix Rodriguez draws the double team front court right. Reverses course, straight on, it's Pulicelli. Tries to feed down low, and it's way out of bounds. It's the second time Frankie Pulicelli has thrown a ball into the stands.
And the way he's throwing the basketball from the side of his body, that's tough to control, and he threw it in the stands early, and that time a little miscommunication on that pass by Pulicelli, as he says, my fault.
Turnover number 12 on Stony Brook. Appleby's floater off the iron won't go. Scooped up by Anthony Roberts. Stony Brook wants to run. He had Tyke Green wide open. Instead, Roberts goes 94 feet and gets only glass. Stony Brook will get it back, though. Florida in transition, pulls a Pulicelli.
Careless pass by Reeves, and that's something you don't see often by the Gators. They'll turn it over in half court. In transition, they are terrific and accurate, and careless pass by the freshman, and that's why he's a freshman. Best thing about a freshman is he becomes a sophomore.
Spoken like a true basketball coach. Stony Brook's worst enemy, Jason Jitobo, gets ready to check in for Mike White. 14 and a half minutes to go in the second half. Florida leading 59-38. Juan Felix Rodriguez into the lane, slips it for Jaden Sales, who puts it down. Kind of caught it between a dunk and a layup. It counts the same, 2 for Stony Brook, and Jaden Sales is into double figures.
How well has Sales played? Stony Brook's gotten 10 out of Sales off the bench and 12 out of Rodriguez off the bench, and that's kind of kept the Seawolves in the game.
Stony Brook still with only 3 3-pointers. They average over 9 per game, tops in the America East. Reeves, front court right, off the screen from Castleton, spins, feeds Felder, who then bridges the gap to Castleton. Left block, one-on-one against Sales. Help comes from Green. Castleton in trouble, sends it cross court to the corner. Fleming rises, fires, hits again from 3. Flanders Fleming. Give him 20.
And watching that great rotation defense by Stony Brook, the one guy you did not want to leave open is Fleming Jr. as he knocks down another triple.
6th triple of the game for Florida. And their lead balloons to 22. Roberts fading, can't hit from the near baseline. And he points to the other hoop to say, hey, let's get back in transition. And the Stony Brook defense does.
And Roberts settling a little bit for shots. Has to be a little bit more patient. Another turnover by the Gators.
3-on-2 for Stony Brook. Rodriguez leads the charge. Lob feed for Green. He bounces once and tried to kick it back out to Jenkins. Stony Brook had numbers and it's intercepted. Foul in transition on Jaleel. And another, there are differences between turnovers and unforced errors. That's an unforced error by the Seawolves.
Yeah, Tyke Green was surrounded by some Florida defenders. I certainly would like to have seen him take it up, try and draw some contact, and head to the free throw line. Threw a tough hook pass from down low at the top of the key. You just can't do that against this active Florida defense.
Never want to assume in this business, but I'm not sure Myron Jones is available today for Mike White's club. We noted the Penn State transfer, who prior to today had started each and every game, right now in the worst shooting slump of his career. Outside in, here's Jatobo against Sales. He goes back out. McKissick with Rodriguez in his face, in and out with the triple. Jatobo rips the rebound free from Sales. New 20 for UF. Appleby defended, front court left by Jenkins. Has the screen from Jatobo. Appleby probing, kick out. Here comes a three from Felder. It's down.
Great patience by the Gators on the offensive end. Some ball screens, some dribble drives, and Felder knocks down another triple. Back-to-back
triples for Florida as Anthony Roberts tunnels baseline and manages to find two, squirting through a bevy of defenders to close the gap back to 23, 65-42. Shot clock down at 15. Still Appleby waiting between the rings, and his bounce pass right into the hands of Rodriguez. One-on-one against Appleby. J-Rod finishes with the left.
How well has Juan Felix Rodriguez played so far in this game? Certainly a little reminiscent of how he played last year. Leading scorer for the Seawolves, has kind of taken a backseat a little bit to Jaleel Jenkins offensively, but he's come up big today.
14 of the 44 provided by J-Rod. Omar Habway fresh onto the hardwood. Nearly had the steal. His poke is out of bounds. They'll say UF basketball when we return. 11:49 remaining in the contest. Still all Florida. Stony Brook trying to find it here down south. 65-44 your score. 65-44. 5 of the timer now for the Gators. Fresh out of the restart. Long triple. McKissick. It won't fall. Rebound again by Jatobo. McKissick streaking. Receives the pass. Goes down the left lane and scores. Too easy on the second chance, as the Stony Brook defense never really recovered after another offensive rebound by the 305-pound junior, Jason Jatobo.
And that's the 11th offensive rebound for the Gators. Stony Brook came out in a 2-3 zone that possession. You got to box out of the zone.
Juan Felix Rodriguez is indeed human. The fans will let him know he just shot an air ball. It was a near corner three. In transition, Gators now setting up the half-court offense. Hip-high right-handed dribble for Appleby.
And against Stony Brook in that 2-3, trying to figure out what to do defensively against this Gator lineup.
McKissick tries again, this time from the left wing. That won't go either. And a good hard-earned rebound by Omar Habway.
And Omar Habway has been playing the best basketball of his career of late for the Seawolves.
Here is Habway into the lane. Whole lot of contact and no call. He immediately turned and looked at the nearest official. He said, play on. We do. Far corner triple. A lot of contact. There's the foul, and it's on Habway. And that's going to be 3 shots. Tyree Appleby remains down, holding his left foot. Or maybe his right foot.
And Habway closed out on Appleby. Hit him on the way down, and Appleby holding that right ankle. Let's hope he's okay.
Thinking maybe Appleby came down and possibly landed on Omar Habway. We do have the benefit of being about 10 feet to the right of the television crew, so we will take a peer over at the monitor if we can get a replay. But either way, 67-44 as we do get a replay here. And is that, yeah?
It looked like that? Yeah, like he came down on Habway's foot and the right ankle turned and twisted and came back quickly as Appleby laces up his sneakers a little bit tight. You know he wants to go shoot those 3 free throws. He doesn't want to come out of the game right now.
Well, follow-up question there, is that's the right call?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You have to allow the offensive player room to land. You cannot go underneath the offensive player as he goes up a 3. Habway did not hit him up top. He hit him down low. And Jatobo will shoot the 3 free throws for Appleby as he is unable to get back in the game.
Not the first person I would have thought Florida would select to take the 2 free throws. Jatobo misses the first.
And these are Jatobo's first free throws of the season.
And
interesting choice by Mike White.
There's his first make of the season. Well, big time lead, right? Guy who hasn't been to the free throw line. Maybe get him acclimated to the charity stripe. Here comes the third, and it's down.
2 out of 3, and he's got a really nice stroke, a high IQ. He's got a big upside, this young man. Has not played a lot early on in his career, but earning and playing more and more minutes each game.
Prior to today, Jatobo had 10 points in his last 20 minutes of play. That was over a 2-game span. The previous 9 games, he had only scored 9 points. Sales, collision course to the cup, rejected. Castleton was there the entire way. Here come the Gators. 10:20 to go, second half. McKissick pulled up a little too far away from the perimeter. He's got it back front court right, hip-high right-handed dribble, defended by Jaleel Jenkins. 15 on the shot clock. McKissick between the rings. Now left side Fleming. One-touch feed inside. It goes inside and out to the corner. 3 on its way. This one counts. Eli Kennedy, the freshman.
Florida's 8th three-pointer of the game. They're 8 for 19 from the floor, and that's been, along with getting to the free throw line, that has been the difference in this basketball game.
Stony Brook has not scored over the last 2.5 minutes. Anthony Roberts tries to change that with a really deep triple. It's off the right side of the rim, but Sales saves it. New 20 for Stony Brook as Jaleel Jenkins meanders in and then out of the lane. Defended by Castleton. Interesting matchup, and he's rejected. Castleton, after catching the block, though, had his foot out of bounds. So Stony Brook will get a new shot clock and keep possession here on the right side of Exactech Arena.
And Jenkins tried to use that floater that he's done so successfully throughout his career, but not easy getting it over to 6'11", Castleton's outstretched arms.
11 seconds on the shot clock. Juan Felix Rodriguez bounces for Sales. Comes right back to J-Rod in the corner, who goes right back for Sales. You want it, I want it. Sales elevates and connects again. 8-footer for the baseline, and Jaden Sales is 6 of 7 from the field with 12 points.
And Sales finally healthy after that long bout with the flu, and if he can provide the offensive and defensive spark he's done so tonight, that'll be some good signs for Gino Ford's club.
On the defensive end, Sales baited Castleton into a free throw line jumper. He missed it, and an off-ball foul is on UF. So the Florida foul is their 5th here in the second half. Only one more to give. But smooth sailing for Mike White's group. Nothing really to worry about with a 72-46 advantage. 9 minutes to go in the second half. Juan Felix Rodriguez brings it over midcourt for Stony Brook. He has 14 of their 46, a season high for J-Rod. Hobway finds J-Rod, front court left. Defended by Kennedy. Gets by him at the baseline. Kick out Stevenson Moore in the corner. He passed up on the 3. Burrows to the bucket. The ball was lost and now scooped up by Hobway. 7 on the timer. Hobway burrows to the bucket and puts it down with a finger roll.
It's amazing how quickly the Gators close out. Stony Brook had several looks at threes, but the defensive rotation was so quick. Nice move by Hobway to finish. Quick
trigger triple. Kennedy off the iron from the left wing. Battle for the board is on. Castleton and Hobway fall down on top of one another. The jump ball results in Stony Brook possession. And well, the way Hobway boxed them out, they deserved it. Castleton will go to the bench, which most of the time the opposition says nice, but Jason Jatobo back out to the hardwood, and Stony Brook yet to solve him.
And we can see Appleby in the corridor walking back and forth gingerly on that ankle. And that would be the only bad sign for Mike White's club today if they lose Appleby. He's been a tremendous force for the Gators.
Well, they've scored 72 points already with over 8 minutes to play. And unavailable, we think, is Myron Jones. Jenkins, the circuitous route, kicks out for a 3. Tyler Stevenson Moore was wide open but missed. Kennedy, the rebound, pushing in transition.
Stony Brook only 3 for 14 from beyond the arc tonight.
Jatobo off the one-touch feed from Fleming Jr. Tic-tac-toe passing the big fella, the beneficiary. 74-48. Omar Hobway, the perimeter right wing, back for Jenkins. Bridges the gap to the far side, now it's Stevenson Moore. Goes to work on Fleming Jr. High screen from Sales. Gives it up to Jenkins. 12 on the shot clock. Jaleel by the midcourt stripe. Has it stripped while he went to the bucket. It was DeRuggi. DeRuggi all by himself. Look out! Reverse throwdown for the senior from Maryland, Anthony DeRuggi. The route is on.
And DeRuggi has that hops in his game. Has been a contestant on several dunk contests, and he certainly showed us why.
28-point cushion for Mike White's Gators. Stony Brook looking for an offensive answer. Sales hands off for Jenkins, dribbling with the left hip high, just outside the perimeter. Now it's Juan Felix Rodriguez, 3 on the timer, way deep 3, and it got nothing. Fans already chanting air ball for his previous air ball. They'll have more material when we return. Florida 76, Stony Brook 48 right here on 90.1 FM WUSB. .701 remaining here at Exactech Arena, Stephen C. O'Connell Center, better known as the O-Dome, down in Gainesville. And it has been all Florida, all afternoon long. They had the first points. They've had the lead the entire way. 76-48 your score. Glad you're with us on 90.1 FM, WUSB. He's Rob Pavinelli. I'm Jonny Wincott. Stony Brook knew it'd be a tall task today, going up against one of the better teams in the country. We noted not in the top 25 anymore. Don't be fooled by the fact that they do not have a number next to their name.
Yeah, they had a tough loss, an inexplicable loss to Texas Southern that was 0-8, and that dropped the Gators out of the top 25, but they've certainly gotten it done tonight. We talked about their ability to defend the three. They've held Stony Brook to 20% from beyond the arc, 1 for 8 here in the second half, and that has been their calling card in all of their victories, and they've been impressive themselves, shooting just under 40% now with that miss from beyond the arc.
That miss was from Anthony DeRucci. Frankie Policelli between the rings at the midcourt stripe. 6:30 to play. Feeds Hobway at the left block, and Hobway can't finish from close quarters. Frankie Policelli deserved the assist.
And that's one of the easiest looks to see what was had all night long.
Kennedy goes cross court. Fleming Jr. with it. Lobs to the corner. DeRucci goes to work against Stevenson Moore. He lost it. DeRucci on the deck. Battle for the ball. Jump ball. It will stay with Florida.
I think Hobway was surprised how wide open he was. He was looking for a Florida defender and just missed the bunny.
Changes for Stony Brook as Anthony Roberts and Jaden Sales check in. They will spell Omar Hobway and Juan Felix Rodriguez. Brandon McKissick triggers underneath the left tin, off to DeRucci. Right elbow, handoff Fleming. The leading scorer right now with 22 points, but Fleming is stripped, and here comes Roberts, fouled in transition by McKissick. 6th foul on Florida, their final foul to give. But again, not much harm done for Mike White's group with 6:03 remaining in the contest, and they lead by 28.
Substitution for Florida, number 22, Tyree Appleby.
Well, good news for UF as Tyree Appleby checks back into the game, landed on Omar Hobway about 5-10 minutes ago in game action. Like he might have rolled his ankle, but he is indeed back on the hardwood.
Still walking a little gingerly on the ankle, though, Johnny.
Well, thrust right into the fire, has to defend Tyke Green. Green goes around him, but misses also from close quarters. Not falling for Stony Brook. They are shooting 49% for the field. Not much worse than Florida at 56%. Still only 3 3-pointers today for Stony Brook on 15 attempts. Here comes the 3-pointer for Florida. Off the hands of DeRucci. No go. Rebound brought in by Sales. 5.5 to go. Still 76-48. UF over SBU. Roberts, step back triple. DeRucci in his face. Front rim. Glass, no good. Appleby has the board.
And one and done. Stony Brook only 4 offensive rebounds in the ball game today. Just too much size, too much athleticism by this Gator basketball team.
And only 17 total rebounds for the game. Florida, meanwhile, is 34. 12 on the timer. McKissick off the screen from DeRucci. An illegal screen.
And that's the second time by DeRucci. As he hands off, shifts the hip to set a better screen. Unfortunately, he got caught for it.
Jason Jitobo checks back in. DeRucci, after committing the foul, heads to the bench. Last foul to give on UF. Next one will send Stony Brook to the free throw line. Final 5 minutes here in Gainesville. Stony Brook's final non-conference game against a Division I opponent. Next week they'll see Farmingdale State back at Island Federal Arena. Tyler Stevenson Moore burrows to the cup down the left wing, and the foul will be on TSM. It's a charge on Stony Brook sophomore. The 4th foul on Stony Brook, and with 4:50, it goes right back to the gang in white, moving from right to left.
And great job rotation by Brandon McKissick. Outstanding defender. He was the Summit League Defensive Player of the Year after he transferred from University of Missouri, Kansas City.
Nice to get 2 transfers, both of whom are their respective Defensive Conference Players of the Year. This is a Gators team that last year had no seniors. Here's Jitobo, and there's a show. It's a 2-handed monster mash, all 305 pounds of them. Back the other way, stumbling Tyke Green along the baseline. Stony Brook's going to retain possession. Only 6 seconds have elapsed off the shot clock. Last year, the Gators did not have any seniors on the roster. Now they have 6 that are either seniors or grads.
After an opening round victory in the NCAA tournament, they were upset by the Cinderella Oral Roberts. who made it to the Sweet 16 after knocking off the Gators.
Fortuitous blow of the whistle there for Jaden Sales, who looked to have been stripped. But they will get Felder for the reach-in, and that's going to send Sales to the free throw line. Rather surprising that in an uber-talented SEC conference, one where the Gators are picked to finish 7th out of 14 this year, that over the last 4 NCAA tournaments, they're the only SEC team to be there in each of the 4. 1-1 for Sales. He'll only get 1.
And Stony Brook's woes from the free throw line, 1 for 6.
Florida in transition. They find a wide open Reeves in the corner. Chucks up for 3, no good. Offensive rebound, Felder. He misses the wide open layup. Back the other way, Roberts meandering across the midcourt stripe. Pulls up from the right elbow, buries. With 4 minutes to go, Anthony Roberts back on the score sheet. Makes it a 78-50 game. 28-point cushion for Mike White's group. Reeves streaking into the lane, receives the lead feed, rejected by Tyler Stevenson Moore. Second chance, it's down with a foul.
And Reeves, the freshman, staying with it. Stevenson Moore with another big block, as he did to save the game against St. Peter's the other night for the Seawolves. But Reeves just too big, too strong, too athletic.
It was a block blessing in disguise as Reeves gets 2 and a chance at 3. We step aside for our final media timeout for the University of Florida. 3:45 remaining. Gators by 30. It's 80-50.
And back in the studios of WSB, Matt Mankiewicz here. Let's check up on that Vermont game. And we are looking at a still tight lead for the Vermont Catamounts, but they have taken one. They're up by 4, 61-57, with 3:58 left in the second half. And Hartford beat Sacred Heart 78-71. The other ones you know about, NJIT and UMass, UMBC, Mount St. Mary's canceled. One women's game we're following, and it remains tight. Merrimack up on New Hampshire now, 56-54, with 2:27 left in that one. UMass beat Hartford 86-40. Northeastern and Maine canceled. One bowl game, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Missouri versus Army at 8 p.m. In the meantime, we, of course, have lots of NBA action coming up. Starts with the Magic and the Hawks at 7:30, Cavs and Celtics, Rockets and Bucks, Nuggets and Thunder, Clippers and Kings, Raptors and Bulls postponed. Knicks in action tomorrow night at the Garden. NHL players not participating in the Beijing Olympics thanks to COVID concerns, and also the fact that 50 games have been postponed in the NHL just this weekend, and they will resume action on Monday. Texas A&M has pulled out of the Gator Bowl. The game is scheduled for December 31st in Jacksonville, Florida. The number 25 Aggies were scheduled to travel there on Sunday to take on the number 17 Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Wake Forest still wants to play, but they would need another team to be freed up from a bowl game if another team were to drop out. The Gator Bowl said it was aggressively working with the NCAA to find a replacement team over the next few days. No mean trick, but on the other hand, that's the way things are right now. Let's send it back.
Koasi Reeves at the free throw line. The freshman delivers and completes the three-point play. We welcome you back to Exact Tech Arena on the campus of the University of Florida. Gators leading 81-50 with 3:40 to go. Anthony Roberts puts the moves on. Tough floater is down. Probably his hardest earned 2 of the evening. And Stony Brook will take it any way they can get it back to a 29-point deficit.
That was a pretty good defense there by Niles Lane. Made Roberts make a tough shot.
And right back the other way, almost a similar-looking shot coming from a freshman in Eli Kennedy with a veteran-like maneuver.
A smooth left-hander. These 2 freshmen, Kennedy and Reeves, have been very impressive for the Gators.
Poor Niles Lane has to keep up with Roberts. He just checked into the game for the first time. 15 on the timer. Roberts hands off for Pulicelli. Fires a fastball for Sales, who turns, shoots, and hits. Not a ton of positives to pull away from this game for Gino Ford's group, but one of them is Jaden Sales. He has 14 points on 7 of 8 shooting.
And against a really good Florida front line. He's done that on Castleton and Jatobo.
Lane off a big-time screen from Jatobo. It's a foul. And we have seen a lot of fouls of that variety committed today by Florida. Maybe by virtue of just some big bodies
And Roberts did a nice job selling that one, though, too. Jatobo, a big boy, set the offensive screen, and he got called with moving the hips once again.
For all that chatter about Stony Brook committing so many turnovers and Florida being so good with the rock in the first half. 16 turnovers to 14, Stony Brook to Florida. Feet down low, Jaden Sales, two-handed monster mash. Great feed by Anthony Roberts. Sales with 16.
The leading scorer for the Seawolves as Rodriguez and Sales combined for 30 tonight off the bench. And another turnover by the Gators.
Yeah, J-Rod got up, tipped the basketball, and intercepted. Back the other way comes Stony Brook. Anthony Roberts, transition three, it's short. And off the deflection, Kennedy brings it in.
Stony Brook, 3 for 17 from beyond the arc, shooting at 17.5%.
J-Rod went for the steal, came up empty. It allows Lane into the lane, but he missed the layup. Jatobo's there for the putback. Lane, a little help from his friends at 305 pounds.
And Jatobo closing in on a double-double, 12 points, 7 rebounds.
Oh, we knew that would be a struggle today for Stony Brook guarding the big bodies of the Gators. Castleton, Jatobo, as Jenkins fires away and delivers a ridiculous three from the far corner. Stony Brook could have used maybe 5 or 6 of those in the first half. They trail by 26.
5 or 6? He was about 10 of those, yeah. The way they've been shooting the ball, Stony Brook's been shooting the ball at a tremendous pace. Just not expected against this Florida lineup. Just so good defending the arc. They play you to attack the basket and wait for the rotation defensively with the big fellas to block shots.
And with 1:15 remaining in the second half, that three-point make may have meant more to some than others. Roberts, step back, we'll call it a long two. It rolls off the front rim. And a good-looking rebound by Toon Gottkick, the sophomore from Portland, transfer from Trinity Valley Community College. His first touches of the hardwood tonight. Jatobo off the lane. Final minute here at Exactech Arena. Back for Jatobo. Double teamed at the block. He doesn't want it. Gave it right away to Jenkins. Stony Brook again in transition. Jenkins pull up three, 30 feet away. It is good. Jaleel Jenkins makes it a 23-point game with 45 seconds to go. We'll get a substitution timeout here for Mike White. And to the roar of the Rowdy Reptiles here, in comes the sophomore from Colts Neck, New Jersey, Alex Klatsky. Clearly a fan favorite.
And Klatsky can play out of Colts Neck, the running school. He was a tremendous high school player, the Randy School.
Lane dribbling out some time here, front court left. One touch feed, it goes to Jatobo. Cross court, Klatsky, he gives it up to Gottkick. 10 on the timer, back to Klatsky. Here comes the three, in and out. Offensive board by Lane. New 20 for Florida. They could really bleed this clock out. That would have sent this place into a frenzy.
The Gator crowd is about to erupt.
Gottkick into the lane, stripped by Pulicelli. And they're going to call Frankie for the reach-in foul with 10.5 seconds remaining in the contest.
Foul on number 2, Frankie Pulicelli, his third. 17 foul.
Third foul on Pulicelli. Should note that Tyler Stevenson-Moore has fouled out of the game for what it's worth. 10 seconds to go. And free throws upcoming for Toon Gottkick, who doesn't log many minutes for this club. The lefty hits the first.
And that's his first made free throw on the season.
Where he noted from Trinity Valley Community College, hails from Portland, Maine. He misses the second free throw. Roberts brings it across the timeline. Stony Brook trailing by 24 and a fitting end. It's a steal. Here comes Gottkick, and Anthony Roberts fouls him with 0.6 of a second remaining. I don't know who's in the wrong there. Roberts for committing the foul, or the Gators for going to try and slam with 0.6 of a second remaining.
Well, a lot of those times, those type of plays end up with some bad results. Fortunately, nobody got hurt, and the Gators will head to the free throw line. Cooler heads prevailed real quick.
You can understand Roberts not wanting the game to end like that on a fast break dunk as Gottkick misses the first free throw. You can also understand from the Stony Brook perspective, they trail by 24. The steal comes with 3 seconds to go. Not sure if they want Florida to go off and dunk that fast break. 1 out of 2 for Gottkick, and that will do it. Final horn here at the University of Florida, and your final score from Exactech Arena. Florida 87, Stony Brook 62. The Gators never trailed.
And it has been, and it's so what we expected, Johnny. This was an athletic, well-coached, tough defensive basketball game that did not allow Stony Brook any open looks, and They were just so dominating inside on the glass and posting up. It was a tough matchup for the Seawolves. Hung tough for a little while, but just too much Gators.
Now, regardless of result today, still a great opportunity for the Stony Brook team to take a trip down to the Sunshine State, take on a team that you may very well see go deep into the NCAA tournament. We told you they've been there each of the last 4 tournaments, and in each of the last 3, they've won at least 1 game.
And it's a good game for the Gators to get back on track offensively. We've talked about their struggles in December after a great 7-0 start in November, knocking off Ohio State in a tremendous game. They beat Florida State. They did lose to Oklahoma. They lost to Maryland, and a tough loss to Texas Southern. But Mike White's club really looks like they have all the pieces.
The Stony Brook winning streak is halted at 4 games. A great response from the Seawolves ever since that 29-point home loss against Wagner to rattle off 4 in a row and go 5-1 on that 6-game homestand. But today's game was only the 2nd game that Stony Brook has played not against a mid or low major opponent, and it's not easy going up against the Kansases and the Floridas of the national, of the collegiate basketball world.
Absolutely not. Those Power 5 schools, they just have so much talent, so much size. They come at you with waves, and they just keep crashing on you until finally you just can't sustain anymore. Stony Brook undersized, although they did get a tremendous performance out of their big fella today, Jaden Sales. He was outstanding, and that's certainly, as you mentioned, something for Gino Ford's club to build on as they head into American East play.
An unbelievable balanced attack today from Mike White's group. 3 in double figures, none more than Flanders Fleming Jr. He had 20, but they had 10 different players find the score sheet. That was the issue today for Stony Brook. They also had 3 in double figures. It's the first time this season they've lost a game with at least 3 in double figures. 14 for Jenkins, 14 for Rodriguez, and as you noted, for Jaden Sales, 8 of 9 from the field for 16 points. Easily a season high for Sales, who, as you noted, was back in the lineup Saturday, but had missed the previous 2 games dealing with the flu.
Yeah, that certainly is going to be a big bonus for Gino Ford's club if they can have an inside presence in Sales. Stony Brook has relied so much, almost exclusively on the 3 throughout the season. Jenkins and Roberts knocking down threes, Pulicelli and knocking down threes. If you can pass it inside and be effective and have defenses collapse on Sales, and then he can kick it out for some open threes, that would be a big bonus for the Seawolves.
Second straight game, the Seawolves are limited to just 5 3-pointers. Obviously, more importantly today, they failed to win, and we knew when the Gators win games, the opponents don't hit threes. They've now won 9 games this season, the opponent shooting 24% from 3 in each of those 9 victories. So for the Gators, they advanced to 9-3 overall, 7-1 here inside the O-Dome. And a week from today, they will start SEC play at the alma mater of their head coach, Mike White, against Ole Miss. For the Seawolves, they're 7-5, 6-1 at home, just 1-4 on the road. We've mentioned some really difficult competition away from Island Federal Arena this season, but the Seawolves will have one more opportunity to tune up next Wednesday. They'll return to Island Federal Arena to take on Farmingdale State. So again, your final from the University of Florida, Gators 87, Seawolves 62. And Stony Brook's 4-game win streak comes to an end. They've still won 6 out of the last 8. They'll start conference play January the 2nd at Hartford, but again, you can catch WUSB's broadcast December 19th against Farmingdale State. And both myself and Rob Pavinelli will be back on the television side of things. You got the makeup ready, Pav?
I don't need any makeup. You kidding?
Yeah. 87-62, your final. For my broadcast partner, Rob Pavinelli, I'm Jonny Wincott. Big thank you to all the folks at WUSB for helping to make this broadcast possible. And that includes our trusty engineer back up on Long Island in Matt Mankiewicz. Florida 87, Stony Brook 62. That's your final from Exact Tech Arena in the first ever matchup between the Gators and Seawolves.